Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping back across the centuries to reconstruct something truly fascinating, the rich, sensory, and honestly, strictly confined world of ancient Roman women. We're going beyond those silent marble statues and male-dominated battlefields to look at how half the population actually lived, breathed, and survived in a civilization that was literally engineered to keep them subordinate. Take a look at this Roman epitaph. It perfectly captures what they called the pietas familiae, this absolute, unquestioning duty to the home. To be the perfect Roman matron meant being invisible, chaste, and, well, endlessly spinning wool. But as we reconstruct their daily reality, we uncover a profound paradox. Because right beneath that veil of quiet domesticity, Roman women operated as brilliant, calculating survivors, navigating a world built to silence them. Section 1. Dawn in the Domus. So, as first light enters the atrium of the Roman house, a woman's day is instantly governed by a concept called pudicia. Now, this wasn't just a state of mind. It was a very real, physical boundary encompassing modesty, loyalty, and sexual virtue. A woman's honor, and actually her entire family's political survival, depended entirely on projecting this virtue. The absolute slightest misstep, invisibility, or dress could literally invite severe social and legal ruin. No pressure, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. This rigid morality clashed completely with the mundus muliebris, the highly structured morning grooming ritual. Imagine the scene. Amidst the heavy scent of imported oils, enslaved hairdressers are wielding heated iron tongs, known as a calamistrum. You see, in Rome, an unadorned face signified barbarism, so to signal her virtue, a noblewoman would weave thick woolen headbands or vitae right into her elaborate curls. It was a quiet, tactile declaration of her pudicitia. Over her linen undertunic, the married citizen woman draped the stola. This was a heavy, pleated wool garment, fastened at the shoulders and double-belted. And honestly, it was essentially weaponized clothing. It acted as a highly visible legal boundary of her marital status. If a woman was divorced or found guilty of adultery, the stola was stripped from her, so it was the ultimate, inescapable badge of the respectable matron. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the vast differences in daily labor. The elite matrona managed massive estate budgets and directed domestic slaves almost like a modern CEO. But the sensory reality shifted drastically as you moved down the social ladder. Plebeian women had to navigate the deafening noise and intense smells of local markets, working as artisans and shopkeepers. And at the very bottom of the hierarchy, enslaved women endured grueling physical realities, cooking, acting as wet nurses, or hauling heavy water from public fountains, stripped entirely of their bodily autonomy. Section 2. The Virtue of Pudicy. Before we leave the household, we really have to look at how society sought to enforce this morality. Philosophers like Seneca constantly lauded the univira, the one-man woman. Remaining true to a single husband, even in widowhood, was quite literally the highest praise a Roman woman could achieve. And why was this absolutely crucial? Because it ensured the certainty of bloodlines, keeping property firmly within the patriarch's grip. But as the Republic transitioned into an empire, this patriarchal ideal collided with legal reality. The shift from cum manu marriage to sine manu marriage inadvertently armed women with incredible leverage. Because a wife now remained legally tied to her father rather than her husband, she kept her personal inheritance entirely independent. This quiet structural shift actually birthed the class of phenomenally wealthy, financially autonomous women. Section 3. Navigating the Public Forum. So by late morning, the elite matrona moved from the private domus out into the bustling, male-dominated civic sphere of the Roman Forum. Now, they were strictly barred from voting or commanding armies, sure, but they skillfully utilized the morning salutatio receptions in their atriums to pull the strings of Rome's political machinery. Surrounded by clients, dependents, and social peers, they brokered dynastic alliances and advocated for legal changes. They were effectively operating a backdoor shadow government right from within the home. To put this influence into perspective, consider the year 42 BCE, during a chaotic civil war. The ruling triumvirate tried to slap an unfair tax on 1,400 of Rome's richest women. Well, a woman named Hortensia boldly marched right into the forum. She delivered this blistering public speech, brilliantly arguing against taxation without political representation. And it worked. Her sheer brilliance forced the most powerful men in the world to back down, reducing the number of taxed women from 1,400 to just 400. Absolutely incredible. Section 4. Leisure at the Roman Baths. In the oppressive heat of the Roman afternoon, citizens retreated to the thermae to indulge in the daily ritual of otium, or leisure. Thanks to the engineering marvel of suspended underfloor heating, the baths became this massive daily social spectacle. During the early empire, balnea mixta, or mixed bathing, became a complex social arena where class and gender mingled freely. Respectable women bathed alongside men, socialized, listened to poetry, and negotiated affairs. In this steamy environment, the strict physical boundaries of pudicia kind of dissolved. As you might guess, this public intermingling absolutely terrified conservative traditionalists. The sight of elite women bathing alongside commoners sparked a profound moral panic. Following some highly public scandals, most famously Emperor Augustus actually exiling his own daughter, Julia, for adultery, the state cracked down hard. Successive emperors like Hadrian and Marcus Aurelius mandated strict bans, implementing specialized bathing costumes and separate hours, desperately attempting to force women back into the rigid confines of modesty. Section 5. Sacred Rites and Secret Cults. As dusk settled over the city, the social order completely inverted. In everyday Roman religion, male pontiffs were in charge, and women were strictly banned from nocturnal rites and blood sacrifice. But during the clandestine winter festival of the Bona Dea, female authority was absolute. The host's house was entirely cleansed of all unauthorized men. The Bona Dea temporarily removed all male presence, permitting women a space of pure religious and social dominance. The details of these rites are wild. Accompanied by female musicians, the Vestal Virgins led initiates in sacrificing a sow on behalf of the Roman people in a banqueting hall decorated with vine leaves. And here's the best part. Conservative Roman law strictly forbade women from consuming strong, sacrificial-grade wine. So how did they get around it? They brazenly masked their drinking by euphemistically calling the wine milk, poured from a honey jar. It was a fleeting, ecstatic liberation from the suffocating grip of the patriarchy. Section 6. The Power Behind Rome. Our day concludes at night during the convivium, where the domestic and political worlds truly collided. Now, this brilliantly illustrates their distinct social standing. Unlike respectable Greek wives, who were hidden away in a separate room during male dinner parties, the Roman matrona was front and center. Reclining right alongside male guests, sipping wine, and leveraging her independent wealth, she steered conversations, debated state affairs, and negotiated successions that could literally alter the fate of the empire. Let's trace how this backdoor influence evolved over the centuries. In the 130s BCE, Cornelia politically educated the Gracchi brothers, shaping foundational land reforms. By 41 BCE, Fulvia was actually raising troops and commanding armies in the Prussian War. Fast forward to 14 CE, Livia Drusilla managed imperial successions for Tiberius, serving as the ultimate blueprint for female authority. And by 49 CE, Agrippina the Younger had maneuvered Nero to the throne, wielding raw executive power that rivaled any man in the Senate. Now, what's really interesting about this is how ancient authors reacted. This mastery of the political machine sparked deep, deep male anxiety. Whenever a Roman woman wielded true influence, male historians like Tacitus relentlessly smeared them, describing them as dangerous and erratic. The text suddenly filled with accusations of madness, poisoning rivals, and overstepping traditional roles. By framing these brilliant political strategists as erratic villains, history attempted to delegitimize the very real power they had clawed away from the patriarchy. As we wrap up this explainer, we really have to look past the ancient propaganda and ask ourselves a vital question. Were ancient Roman women truly the manipulative villains of history? Or were they brilliant political survivors, mastering a world built to silence them? From the stifling morning rituals to the clandestine power of the Bona Dea, they lived within a profound paradox. Legally subordinate, yet they raised armies, dictated successions, and shaped a civilization. It leaves us with a timeless thought. When history is written exclusively by the men in charge, how many other brilliant silent survivors are still waiting for their true stories to be told?